No, we don't want the lights.
I think I can put the light next to
Yeah, we're going to need the light.
We're going to need the lights.
Yeah.
Okay. Start again.
Yeah, the light.
Sorry, we need a piece of tape over here, you guys. Somebody got this is not safe. This is funky light. Just so you can tell them. Well, you can.
On December 6, 1941, at approximately 7:55 a.m., the first wave of Japanese bombers attacked the naval base at Pearl Harbor in the Hawaiian Islands. This was bringing us into World War II. And this project is a tribute to my father and to all personnel, military, male and female. My father was in the Pacific Theater, World War II. This is him on the far right, along with the crew of a PBY amphibian that he was a crew member of. They basically were used for search and rescue, as well as submarine spotting. This is a picture of my father and my Uncle Dick, taken in about 1943 or early 44 in Taft, California, my hometown. The next picture is another of the PBY amphibian, as well as various posters from the World War II war effort. Next picture is of my father and my mother, and that's the earliest picture of me. And my father didn't see me until 1945. I was nearly a year old when the war had finally ended. I'm going to turn this over to Heidi, who's going to be doing the next part. Thank you.
I just want to say that a big part of World War II was the concept of time, and hence the clock. The clock is set at 7:55, which is when the initial bombing of Pearl Harbor occurred. But also, our time was a big thing during this time because, you know, just as we all know, the Rosies and Rosie the Riveter and women were a big part of this era because our collaboration in preparation of like ammunition, bombs, and etc. was, you know, very vital and significant to how everything occurred. We have that. Rosie the Riveter was a very symbolic figure. And you can see other pictures. We were in demand because we can do it. And she's going to go ahead and talk about her piece here and maybe.
This was the U.S. Air Force patch of the WAC, which is a Women's Army Corps. This was one of their logos on their uniforms, and this is made out of like clay and leather. But in the late 1944, the U.S. Army asked for volunteers for the Women Army Corps. It was organized, but is no longer a separate branch of the U.S. Army because it was discontinued by Congress 36 years later. They spent years pushing and prodding the Army, Department of Defense, and Congress to achieve regular Army and Reserve status. The earlier directors had the task of fighting for progress and equity. Their successors fought a losing battle to keep entry standards high to hold on to the separate corps status. And there was a general named Douglas MacArthur. He called them the best soldiers because at times he said they worked harder, complained less, and were better disciplined than many of his male soldiers.
Right there is, that's what I mean right there. It's an American flag, and as I was doing it, I sort of thought of like victory, and also remembering the soldiers that gave their lives. And the soldiers, they were elevated on, so that's pretty much it.
So we went about it in different ways, how to put everything together. I'm going to put this down because I can't see it way too short. Here, and as you can see, all the soldiers are defending the flag. There's some on the ground. There's some looking at each other's back, you know, because they were here to protect. And we all work together as a team, how to put everything together. As you can see, there's a mirror down here. There's also great pictures in the top. You guys are finished bringing it closer. And it was really cool because we decided to put these, this helicopter and airplane on top and hold it together. We used the wire and some glue, and we had a great time doing it, and it was a lot of fun.
And we have all the concepts. The rubbing.
Oh yeah, we had the rubbing.
The rubbing is the,
Yes,
Our eagle.
and it was funny because she was walking around the house. I was like, what am I gonna do?
What is the rubbing?
And then she just grabbed the foil paper she put it on top, and she's like, what do you think? Is it gonna work? I'm like, I don't know. Let's just try to see how it goes. And as soon as I picked it up and we put it there, it looked great. So we just kind of left it.
That's good.
Yeah, it took like 2 minutes. It was very random. I think she went to the bathroom.
Yeah, but it's stressing about thinking about it for a long time, right? And then you solved it. 'Cause you were,
We
yeah.
had to research it.
And I
So
was like,
that's how the opportunities arise, when you're ready for it. That's the thing, when you're looking,
It was
you
awesome.
were
We had a
looking.
great time.
And we have all the elements that were required of us. We have a reflective object, which is a mirror to reflect us.
The reflective object, so it's hard to see the mirror from here, but there's
Yeah,
a mirror
yeah,
under, so
right.
we'll
Yeah.
come and take a,
And you can see, you know, just more propaganda.
Yeah.
That was very significant to that era. And then we have our organic elements and our man-made objects, and, you know, so we have all of these concepts that were required of us. My favorite is the rubbing.
You can also pick that up, and there's other things on the
Yeah.
top.
so what else is on, well, you wanna pick that up again and see what else is? So depending on who's,
So we can bring it down, you know.
Can you turn it as well?
This was just part of our presentation because, as you know, we introduced our project with the beginning of the war and such. And then there's just, you know, more
Propaganda and stuff, you know. Some of it is really silly if you pay attention to it. So you guys can come closer and just take a
Okay.
look at it.
and I have another question for you guys, what's gonna happen to this now?
We're gonna allow Mr. Dennis to have it. because-
Really?
Yes.
Like
So it's gonna go in the Dennis archives?
Yes, it is, in my studio, in the garage.
Yeah, yeah, so it will stay intact,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
It'll stay intact.
So it looks like you guys had a good time, huh?
Yeah. we did. It was a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
We made
Yeah.
friends, so that was pretty
Yeah.
fun.
So from everybody else, I want you to, some feedback. What do you think was the strongest part of their work? Gabriel?
I liked the clock, how it was set to exactly.
The clock, that got me too.
That was like,
It was like
that's amazing.
the exact time.
Cater to the viewers.
I like that you guys put it on the wheels and it turns in more ways than one. Emily, what were you gonna say?
I like, for me, the most significant part of it is the history behind it and how Dennis has a personal connection with it.
Right, I know that's awesome because
Hence our decision to, you know.
But that's how you started. that's where it started, but then it went to, you know, it's not just about Dennis, that it becomes about the bigger
Right.
picture, right?
Yes, and Heidi needs to get credit for, it was her idea to use a World War II theme, and I just expanded on it. And
Brilliantly.
it was her idea.
So why'd you pick that in particular? Well, I'm sure you guys threw around a lot of other ideas, right? Right? But
Yeah, but initially I didn't know that it was going to be a group project. I thought that we were all going to have to create a project on our own. And my initial idea was to create a bomb, so I thought, go with the idea. Not an actual
so
bomb.
that you were going to have to do your own.
Yeah, I had like a whole plan, you know, but I opted to just bring it up to the team and see what they thought, and they bought it. So then we just went with the whole theme, and
I also really enjoyed it because we actually got together twice a week. We got together and we had time to sit down and talk about it and cut things out and
The luxury of
have a
time.
good time. As opposed to being
Yeah.
in class, like, okay, what are we gonna do in this, and then we have to bring this next week. So I thought that was really cool.
So you learned the luxury of time and having the space outside of class to think. and-
Yes.
Yeah, how about you guys? What did you get out of doing all this? Would you rather have done one on your own?
No, thank you.
No?
I thought it was fun, and I thought it was a nice way to just kind of get to know.
Yeah,
you
we
know,
got to know each other more and like on
Good.
And what we could bring to the table as a team and stuff, you know?
and we realized that we all have like real different talents. Like,
Well,
I'm
that's how I
highly impressed with Nicole and her idea of coming up with this clay.
Yeah. That's
And
pretty interesting.
Juan, brilliantly.
With the whole little diorama there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heather, let's get you some guys some more feedback from the rest of the class.
So Terry.
I like the use of the real life photos and the people that could be related to in the photos.
Yeah.
Okay. And so Terry, did you have your hand up?
I did a good job. I like to make it thing from the bobbin and can turn around.
Yeah.
That was really
Yeah.
Can I add something? Can I give you suggestions? I see you try to put something to hold the top up. Can you put the top up and then put the thing like
Yeah.
behind it and then you just
Well, yeah, we
leave
can.
it like that up?
So
We
it's
can.
adjustable, right?
Yeah.
We can.
And we thought about it as well.
Yeah.
But the idea is to include that into our presentation as to when the war commenced, and therefore, you know, that is just kind of what we use to present our sculpture.
Like the raising of the flag.
Yeah.
Right.
And then this
Like
is
a
like
bulletin.
a symbol of triumph,
Yeah.
you know, and so that's why we opted to
The flag
use
is the
that.
beginning, the symbol of the triumph is the end.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we did think about that and we decided not to do it.
Anybody else? Any feedback? You like the bamboo? What do you like about the bamboo?
It reminds me of the Pacific.
That's why I used it. That was,
No, you guys, the materials, it's a really subtle, you don't separate the material from the message.
Yeah.
It's all part of it, so it makes it that much stronger. Were you guys thinking about that?
and I'd also like to thank Driftwood Dairies for their milk crate that I used.
Oh, that's underneath. Right. Okay, so any other feedback or things that would make the piece better, Emily?
I kind of wish that the battlefield thing up top was like more of a part of it, but then at the same time I know because it would take away from like the turning thing. But it's kind of cool, like, and then she pulled it out and put it up there because all that stuff didn't happen at one time. So it really, to me, it really shows like the chronology of how things are going.
Yeah, you guys, you really did a lot of time
Yes.
in the way you walked through it and the different aspects. Any other feedback back here? Any other thing, anything that you would change? Go ahead,
The
Heather.
fact that they acknowledged the women at that time too.
Uh-huh.
People that were
Yes. and we went about it in different ways, like we took things off and then we turned it around and then we talked where it would look better and stuff. So I think that was really cool as well. Because we didn't want to miss anything out.
So you're really clear about everything.
Yeah, and sometimes less is more.
Right.
We didn't want it to look too cluttered. And you know, these are all our ideas, and we put them together to the best of our abilities and according to time, and this is what we came up with, and we liked it. Thank you.
Good.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that was really good.
Was that the original recording of?
Yes.
Where was it original recording? So how'd you do that?
I recorded it onto my phone, and then it was an actual recording from the president announcing. There was several.
Did you find it off the internet?
Yeah, I went online and we researched it. We recorded it onto the thing, and there are several others. But considering that
That was a good idea.
we don't have that much time, we're not gonna play them all. But we feel good with what we have introduced thus far.
Wow, so you put it on your phone and then you
Yeah,
plug it in the
and this is a
speaker.
wireless speaker, so
Oh my gosh, those are all
isn't it cool?
rigged up. Okay, wow. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank